it's easier to go after the small fish than the big fish. But the big fish operating the major exchanges did many tens of thousands of transactions with XRP. You know it's a security. That means they were illegally operating the securities exchange. They know it's illegal because they stopped doing it, even though it was profitable. So if they know it's illegal, you know it's illegal, and I know it's illegal, I hope you focus on that.
I don't care what your people say. I'm gonna buy XRP anyway.
You lost your color for a minute, now you black again. Yeah, I'm on a blockchain with it, and my blockchain monkeys full of octane in them. You know the vibe, plus we shredded than a motherfucker. Yeah, we crash monkeys. Yeah, we crash monkeys. It go Planet of the Apes, gorillas in a mess. All these bad rules all over my shit. It go Planet of the...
What is going on, blockchain monkeys? Eagle here, like to thank you for coming to my jungle. And first of all, I'm no financial advisor whatsoever, nor am I professional in blockchain technology. But there is one thing that I absolutely will do, and that's give you my opinion. So today, we're gonna get to it. We got Sologenic OG NFT breaking news, okay? And then, what is Ripple doing with Shopify on the back end? And we're going to listen to Brad Sherman talk that nonsense, U.S. representative of California, I believe it is. But before we can do that, you have to rub those hands together real vigorously. Slide down Twitter. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? Coming in hot from the wrath of Kahneman, Ripple user Airwallex launched an online payment app on Shopify. What are you doing on the back end? Okay, a payment gateway plugin that merchants can integrate on their online store to accept payments from their global customers. Many payment rails, especially APAC and EU, are you getting ready? Airwallex, a leading global fintech platform, announced the launch of its Airwallex online payments app on Shopify. The Airwallex online payment app is a payment gateway plugin that merchants can integrate on their online stores to accept payments from their global customers. Covering a wide range of payment methods, you have Visa, MasterCard, UnionPay, bank cards, and 30 plus other local payment methods across the Asia Pacific and Europe, such as GrabPay in Southeast Asia, WeChat Pay in APAC, and Band, Contact, and so forth in Europe. It just keeps on building, ladies and gentlemen. And then Mauricio dropped this on me. OMG, OG NFT Sologenic, let's go. The blockchain monkeys have just been dripped a real Sologenic OG NFT. Huge shout out to Mauricio, huge shout out to Dope Darius, and huge shout out to Zen God and everybody in the whole Solo Nation. Hey, and also, I will work for Solo. Let's go. And so now we're going to take a look at the oversight of the SEC's Division of Enforcement. Okay, these are the storms that we have to go through during these times. Take a listen.
Subcommittee will come to order without objection. The chair is authorized to declare recess subcommittee at any time. Without objection, members of the full committee, not members of the subcommittee, are authorized to participate in today's hearings. It seems like some things are given a pass and some things are targeted.
You better say it.
For targeting.
There's no selective prosecution. We have to balance the risk that we're seeing with the resources that we have, and we have a number of investigations.
Maybe the big ones take too many resources to go after, so you just say, well, they'll get a pass.
No, I'm very proud of the work that the 1,300 women, men in my division do. They don't give people a pass. They hold violators accountable.
Okay, let me run a hypothetical scenario by you. Say an SEC official gives a speech at a conference, and the official begins, of course, by stating that, quote, their views are their own and not necessarily those of the commission. Anyone who's ever heard an SEC office official speak would know that this is standard, and they would not interpret it, the speech as legal guidance. However, let's say that the SEC official consulted SEC staff and perhaps even ethics directly to assist them in writing speech or giving guidance. Under this scenario, would the written speech still be considered personal views of the individual, not views of the commission?
Respectfully, I can't answer that right now because that hypothetical is a real scenario that's playing out in litigation.
Oh, what litigation would that be?
Oh, well, what litigation would that be?
That would be a Ripple litigation.
You better say it then.
So, is it true that Director Hinman submitted his speech to ethics for approval?
Again, I can't comment on
You can comment on whatever you want.
litigation.
Okay.
Has Chair Gensler ever directed you or to your knowledge asked any of your colleagues to make it a bloodbath for
See, Emma gonna bust you right in the head. Get him, man.
companies who don't respond to a sweep letter which are voluntary?
No, it's not that.
Interesting. We become aware that Chair Gensler has in the past directed the Division of Enforcement to send a sweep letter to a particular sector of the crypto community, designed to jam them into a violation that is allegedly unconstitutional. And if any company does not respond to said sweep letter, which I'll reiterate, as you've said several times, are supposed to be voluntary, then the SEC would make it a, quote, bloodbath for them. If true, I imagine such a tactic would significantly erode trust between the public and the SEC. Here's the problem. The SEC isn't interested in clarifying what areas of the crypto industry fall under SEC jurisdiction. We know that because FinHub, that you've referred to, the SEC division focused on crafting crypto regulation, has essentially dissolved under Gensler. Nonetheless, while abandoning good faith attempts to clarify how the Commission's existing authority applies to digital assets, the SEC is hell-bent on expanding the size of its crypto enforcement division and using enforcement to unconstitutionally expand its jurisdiction. Under Chair Gensler, the SEC has become a power-hungry regulator, politicizing enforcement, baiting companies to, quote, come in and talk to the Commission, then hitting them with enforcement actions and discouraging good faith cooperation. Understand, sir, there is a new day coming. Thank you. I yield back.
Let them know.
It's easier to go after the small fish than the big fish. But the big fish operating the major exchanges did many, many tens of thousands of transactions with XRP. You know it's a security. That means they were illegally operating the securities exchange. They know it's illegal because they stopped doing it, even though it was profitable. So if they know it's illegal, you know it's illegal, and I know it's illegal, I hope you focus on that. And then finally, we have Tether, which is broke a money market mutual fund in every way. It broke the buck. Can you, I realize you're elected to talk about individual matters, but can you tell us why you went after Terra, but not Tether?
Yeah, it would be inappropriate for me to comment on who we're going after or not going after, but I understand your concerns, and we've added resources to our crypto assets unit to look at issues that put investors at risk, including the issues you've raised in your questions.
Add fortitude and courage as well. You're going to have to take on some cases that you're not certain of winning. But sure.
The flurry of activity is evidence that the rapidly evolving enforcement and regulatory landscape.
They really know how to play you, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be on your game when it comes to this research.
That the SEC is an indicator of things to come. I don't think it's going to slow up. In the past, increased enforcement activity at the Commission has signaled that they will act aggressively, pressing the boundaries of their enforcement authority. So look no further than the SEC's announcement this past May to nearly double its crypto enforcement unit. While the Commission does not intend to provide any clarity surrounding the application of securities laws to digital assets, the unit plans to focus on violations related to crypto asset offerings. So crypto asset exchanges, crypto asset lending and staking products, decentralized finance platforms, non-fungible tokens, stable coins, et cetera, et cetera. So it's worth mentioning that of the 63 items included in the agency's rulemaking agenda this past spring, exactly 0 pertain to digital assets. In addition to the division's proactive enforcement efforts, your words, not mine, the SEC continues to use its own administrative law judges to adjudicate enforcement actions, a controversial decision that has been used increasingly over the past decade. The recent court decision, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, noted that Congress has unconstitutionally delegated legislative power to the SEC when it allowed the Commission to decide when to use these ALJs. And coupled with the SEC's own admission earlier this year that there was a control deficiency related to the separation of the SEC's enforcement and adjudicatory functions with serious ramifications regarding the fairness of prior SEC enforcement actions for the party subject to those actions. So finally, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the one person who is not here this morning, the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Chair Gensler, but I know he is paying attention. So Chair Gensler, while I appreciate you allowing Director Graywall to come in before the subcommittee.
He put somebody out there to go take that heat. Come on, Gary, come get this heat.
I can't help but mention your absence and request your attendance.
There have been a number of comments of our colleagues about the need for definition. No definition is more important than to define securities. That's what the SEC does. Congress really hasn't acted. Courts have acted with the Howey test, which was not focused on digital assets since it was written in the 1940s. The fact remains XRP, I think, clearly is a security, and we need enforcement not only on those who issued the unregistered security, but those who provided an exchange for it. Likewise, it would be good to have a definition of ESG, but right now companies and mutual funds put forward their own definitions of ESG and promise the investors that they will follow them. When they don't, that's when enforcement is called for. It is not enforcement by regulation to take a security, which clearly is a security, I believe, under the Howey test, and to enforce our rules against it. Of course, more clarity would be helpful. My Republican colleagues have said that there's no formal rule that has been adopted on ESG. We understand that. You still need to go forward, and it's my understanding that you're going forward in those areas where they're not meeting their own stated standards. So this hearing is adjourned.
Cause it's the standard in this bitch. XRP. I went to YouTube University, and now they mocking me with no degree. We saying by the swift, keep it walking. Respect your elders in these bushes. Bitcoin is talking.
You don't have to be rich to be taking advantage of this. This was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever fucking seen since World War II.
Blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's DLT up in these streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain.